I'm changing directions now because I think it's much easier for you to see the continuity of the movement from this angle. The last movement that we just practiced, the asymmetrical elongation, ends with a rolling sideways of the body that arrives to the other side of the body and bring you to seated 0 point. And the rolling, once you become familiar, you will do it in many, many different ways through the study, and it will help you in many, many movements. And in the beginning, it's kind of a complex because I would like to use force to be able to roll. Another form of saying, you would like to sense that if you're going to roll sideways, you may want to think that you're going to press down to go up, that you're going to use your skeleton to lift you. And if you need to do that in the beginning, you have to do it because that's the way you start. But then you begin to discover that 0 point, as you are elongated, that you can move into a spiral. So the entire torso can go around into a spiral. And then as you're going around into a spiral, there is a specific placement of your arm that within the rolling act as a point of centering that impels you to roll. So from here, right here, the rolling gets you up. And you begin to discover that, and then you begin to discover the accuracy. In the beginning, you may go a little higher, but it doesn't matter. You may go here, but begin to know that eventually you will know the direction, and the direction is subject to the spiral of the arms as you're moving through it. So the spiral will help you. So practice by finding where you're at in the rolling, if you need support, and if you need support first, and then trying to be less and less supported, then practice getting into the momentum, then practice getting into the spiral, and then the fourth time, practice by getting the direction that the arm will impel you to rolling into it. Okay, so in this last movement is very simple because the last movement, when you finish the last natural asymmetrical elongation, it is already the rolling. So what I'm saying by that is that in the moment that you complete heaven and earth, you see the length of my leg and the planes of my arms are already lifted me. You see, are already rolling. So that is very, very simple. It's much more difficult to roll if you are in 0 point and then you have to get out of here because your legs are all on the floor. But if your leg stays high, you see, it's already there. So it is good to practice because all these spirals at either side of you assist the mind not to think that the spine is like really straight and it's like this much force in it. So you can be at the center of the spine and you can go into this part of the spiral, this part of the spiral. Everything is at the center of it. So you don't sense yourself like grabbing the skeleton to know where you are. On the contrary, you just use the center of a space and then use the spirals and the energy to support you. Okay? So I would like to do the movement now, the asymmetrical coordination from this angle, asymmetrical elongation from this angle, and then do the rolling. Okay? Wonderful. Here we are. Always remember the symmetry is very important in your definition, because if you start a little bit, if you are asymmetrical, for example, let me see, put myself asymmetrical right now here, it will be very difficult, you see, because then I don't have any forces within. So it is all a symmetry within a symmetry, symmetrical relationship with an asymmetrical movement. So we'll start 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last movement. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 0 point. So I want you to, it's important for you to really understand and remember that as you begin to practice these motions, many, many details are going to begin to be added to you, either through your own sense, or we will also giving you more and more subtleties and details through our filming. So we will keep adding details so you can just find all the different details that eventually make one seamless connection. So just, it's not a big deal, it's just to start in it, in the rolling. Now, once we start rolling in it, I wanted to let you know that the arm that is initiating the movement creates a spiral around, and then the moment that you arrive at the end of the spiral, if you're rolling this way, and the height of the spiral is a certain place that allows for your heart to be open, so the spiral doesn't go that high that it creates pressure back, or you begin to find the level that corresponds to the open. It's called parting the waters, sometimes we say, the spiral, because it's like swimming into a spiral, and then it gets you around into a place here behind you, to the side of you, that is the end of the spiral. And the end of the spiral in this connection, eventually you will begin to perceive it as also the pelvic floor. It's the center of your pelvic floor, from which then the entire spine can unravel from within to take you back to the center. So when we're rending in the spiral, it's that this arm initiate the movement and this arm begins to follow it again. Eventually it will not be a following, it will be the correspondent relationship that assists you to move as a whole. But in the beginning, it's just allowing it to occur, because as I said, the physiological nature of your body will guide you, because it wants to move as a whole. Yeah? So I would like to do the movement again from this angle, and then do the spiral, the last spiral. And what you remember in the spiral, you initiate the spiral, is go to this height from here, let's say maybe like 2.5 feet from the floor of opening higher. And then when it gets to the level, since you're rolling sideways, when it gets to the level that the shoulder begins to become aligned to almost a place of 0 point, in the moment that it becomes aligned, it yells into itself to allow the entire spine to go into the spiral. So, because in the beginning you would like to sense that as you roll in, the whole spine will move with you back. But I want you to know that in a specific moment, at this level, almost 3/4 of the movement, if you continue moving with the arm without yielding in the spine, you're going to create pressure back, and then the whole spiral will become broken. So from the rolling, at just before the symmetry, like if the symmetry were to be here, so this much distance before the symmetry, allow the shoulder to move and the spine to move, so you enter a release of the legs and release of the spine for the spiral to get you back. So if you remember, this detail will help you. The first thing that you remember is that there will be a point in the raising and the moving of the arm that you have to engage the shoulder to move with you from the hip as well. And if you pass that point, the shoulder will press back and it will break you. It will not let you roll. So just begins to know that and see it in the video over and over, and you will begin to see what the moment is. I will tell you when it happened, and I will say now as the moment in which my shoulder moves with the pelvis in order to continue with the spiral. Yeah? Beautiful. So we go from here. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twice more. 3, 4. Last time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm becoming symmetrical in this moment. 3 and 4. So I'm going to roll again and show you again one more time now, okay? And then now. So I'm going to do the extension. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.